As we're rounding third on this amazing show, they had to give us another look at how Al is adjusting to life and where he seems to be heading overall. We got a true fish out of water style adventure. It's interesting to see how he reacted to everything around him. One would assume that at the conclusion of this day, you would see him rethink his position about staying on the farm of safety, but Al shows us that he's built for whatever comes in a world where backhoes are definitely not loyal. Let's talk about it.
My hand, yeah, take my hand. Follow me, follow me, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
To the sand.
What's poppin', digital family? I'm back at it again, talking about the second to last episode of one of my favorite shows. Sadness will definitely ensue at the conclusion. But anyway, before I swan dive into all of the hogwash, foreshadowing, that took place in this one, please like, subscribe, share so we can all grow the community, expand the conversation, and all that kind of good stuff. New subscribers, welcome. Get comfortable on my media couch. For my day ones, as usual, you are loved and appreciated. All right, let's dive in. Anyone that's been watching Alfred since the first episode can see that he's a survivor. He's built to last. Prior to getting famous and going on tour, he was in the streets of Atlanta distributing that illegal work from block to block. He was a street guy, kind of looking at hip hop as a way of getting out of the life he was currently living. So I'm not surprised that when he was able to obtain a certain amount of money and wealth, he was able to get very comfortable being in environments that were totally opposite of where he was before. We saw him in Europe navigating his way through various spaces, and he always seemed to be super excited about anything that was new or something he had never done before. After that Crank That Killer situation that we saw in the other episode and Big Soldier Boy's suggestion that Al go ahead and get a safe farm, I figured he was going to probably kind of go in that direction, and also seeing the trailer where he was on a tractor. But anyway, more on that in a second. He seemed to be really intrigued at the idea of kind of going to a farm somewhere. Even at the end of the last episode, he was just like, yeah, man, I'm going to get me a farm. But what I didn't expect is that for it to happen so soon. And I didn't expect for him to not only go get a safe farm, but to actually be living there as opposed to living in the city of Atlanta where he was before. But for this episode, we start out seeing Al in the woods. So he's back in the woods again. And we know whenever Al gets in the woods, strange things tend to happen. And this episode is no different from the others. But we start out with him on his safe farm. He actually did it. He's living out what I think most people would be doing if they had that much space to themselves. He's got his music out as he shoots his guns at different targets that depends on the trees. He's clearly not really wanting to be bothered as he ignores a steady stream of phone calls and texts that are coming in. He kind of wants to be on his big plot of land, growing his high-grade kush, eating bacon, drinking whiskey, and figuring out how to get that backhoe tractor to run. I mean, for some people, that sounds like Kevin. Certain aspects of that I could get with. You can keep the whiskey, you can keep the bacon, you can probably keep the backhoe, but I'll take the farm and the weed. Anyway, I always love how the writers use natural sounds or silence to really focus in on what the character's really doing. Like, there isn't a lot of dialogue in this episode. It's more facial expressions and sometimes some bursts of emotion. The acting from, I think it's Brian, who plays Paperboy, incredible as usual. He's a great actor, and he's got a lot of other projects that he's a part of. He's just a fantastic actor. But it's really nice to see Al in a place where he could fully, be himself and really explore the world around him without judgment or pressure from others. Some of his biggest challenges were some feral hogs eating his weed and a backhoe tractor that he couldn't quite get to start. So for a street guy, these are great problems to have in comparison to being in constant life or death situations. As we know, that's basically what he kind of came from. So this is chocolate cake, and it was good to kind of see him in that peaceful environment. Now, the situation did get a bit intense as Al learned that safe farms can also sometimes be super unsafe as well, especially that unloyal backhoe tractors. Now, one thing about Atlanta, and we know this to be true, the writers are great at giving you an idea of something that might be happening to a character. The YouTube video that Al was watching was called "These Backhoes Ain't Loyal," which is a funny ass name, alluding to the fact that the backhoe tractor that he was working with are very unstable and could cause injury if you're not careful while using them. Now, how Alfred forgot to do these two or three things, I don't know. I mean, I was literally yelling at the TV, like, one, trying to move the tractor after it got stuck. Like, this basically knocked it and jiggled it loose. Then getting in front of it while it was on a hill and then turning his back to the tractor while it was already unstable. I was just yelling at the TV like, dude, what are you doing? But, anyway, I'll let you watch the episode to see how it turned out. But one thing Al did get right was buying that skillet from Amazon, much to the chagrin of the manager of the store. Came in handy. You'll see when you watch the episode. But I think overall, seeing that Al has truly kind of evolved and is enjoying the opportunity to really take a step back from the world and figure out his next move is really fun to see. Like, he still keeps his burdens to himself and doesn't really share them, with his closest friends and family. But it is good to see in the end, as the episode was kind of concluding, that him and Ern can still talk and really enjoy each other's company. I was concerned that there was a lot of unsaid things between Ern and Al, like in terms of business and different things. Especially there was a lot of tension around Ern in the beginning as he was initially getting everything off the ground in terms of as a manager and the mistakes he was making. And I know there was a lot of tension there. And I guess over the years, since Al has been successful as a result of Ern and his own efforts, that's probably been resolved a lot. I thought maybe there were some things festering there, but from what I'm seeing, that Al is that's his personality. They're still great cousins. They still get along. I do enjoy watching them talk to each other about life. And it just shows you that they still have a very strong bond. Al's reluctance to be transparent about all of his life happenings may be putting a focus on how a lot of men of color tend to keep their burdens to themselves. They endure their pain in silence in many times and never clue their friends and family in on what may be happening to them. So our hope is that we get our men to be more open to sharing what they're going through without fear of judgment or ridicule from the people around them. So that's what I took from it. I could be wrong, but to be comfortable, asking for help, especially from people who really have your well-being at the forefront. But anyway, I still do not want this show to end, but I'm enjoying all of the storylines on the way out. I'm sure probably the last episode is going to probably feature Darius, which we all are waiting for. But what did you think about this? Is Al built for that farm life, or should he leave that tractor alone? What strain of weed was that he was growing? My weed heads, please let me know. It looked delicious. Hit me up in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. More celebrity interviews are coming. Peace.